Nicely done.
Tastes like Samuel Adams and hooker spit.
Oh, I'm Samuel Adams.
I got the taste of weed and hooker spit out of my mouth. Oh, it'll Sam Adams too.
All right, that's a good idea.
Hoorah, Mexico.
Welcome to the banter.
I'm Jimmy.
I'm Timmy. And today we're going to cover the most boring Canadian team there is, the Ottawa Senators. No offense to Sens fans, however.
Yeah, the Minnesota Wild of Canada.
No, the Carolina Hurricanes. Minnesota gets more fanfare. I never thought I'd hear...
Okay, fair. I'm saying more towards the style of hockey you play. You play boring-ass motherfucking hockey.
Yeah. I've never thought I would see Canadian teams sitting there begging for money and begging for fucking corporate sponsors and shit like that. Especially when it's the nation's capital.
Yeah.
A little disappointed to see shit like that. You know, the owner seems to be a little bit of a tightwad, so... What are you going to do?
You know, CBC's got a lot of extra money laying around all of a sudden.
Yeah, maybe they can cover regional games. But yeah, so a disappointing year in Ottawa. Sens fans, like I said, all 15 of them, probably pretty pissed off.
Probably. I think those 15 people, including fucking Shirley Murray there, owe Alfredson an apology.
Well, you know, it seems that they just never really got off on the right foot. You know, Spezza being the captain, I'm nothing against Jason Spezza as the captain.
Yeah.
But it just seemed like Alfredson was the heart and soul of that team. And, you know, I know you like to use the Calgary analogy a lot, but I think right now would be a good time for a Calgary analogy when, you know, you look at, we made Gio the captain.
Yeah.
And, you know, nobody expected us to win. Not like they were expecting Ottawa to compete, right? And Gio fucking stepped into that role perfectly. You know, nobody else could have
not perfectly. Start of the season, you and I both were sitting here going, and then he got injured.
Yeah.
And we were like, oh, fuck. And then we got his shit handed to us while he was injured. And we were like, ooh, this is going to be a long fucking season.
Yeah.
And then he came back, and who the fuck knows what happened while he was injured, who talked to him, but that's when he embraced that role.
Yeah. Put himself on Team Canada's radar, you know, things like that. And then you flip over to the nation's capital there, and it seems Spezza couldn't fill that role. He couldn't step into that role. You know, it seems like he's almost uncomfortable taking the captaincy after Alfredson.
But in retrospect, too, like, everyone kind of damned him as soon as Alfredson left.
Yeah.
Everyone was like, oh, Sens are fucked. Moving on.
Which I don't really understand because Alfredson isn't the prominent player that he was 3 years ago.
No, but as we've cleanly seen, he's the prominent leader that he was rumored to be.
Yeah, he's an amazing leader, obviously, because, I mean, you know, last year he basically carried the team on his back and said, listen, we're doing this, you know.
When there were injuries in Detroit this year, Babcock came out and openly stated he was looking towards Alfredson to step it up, right? So, it's I think it was just a damned year from the get-go.
Yeah. I mean, second time in 3 years that they've missed the playoffs. So, obviously, you know, you can't say the rebuild's not working because they did make the playoffs.
No, I think their problem is they fire sailed 3 years ago. Weren't going to make the playoffs. Realized Alfredson was getting old, Spezza was getting old. It was time to make a change.
Yeah.
So they started. And fired sale, didn't make the playoffs. I believe Bingham, their AHL team, won the Calder that year. So what they do, they call up a bunch of the kids who won the fucking Calder, and they're not all kids, some of them were grown men by then.
Yeah.
And they played extremely well. And all of a sudden they make the fucking playoffs. And I think at that point, as surprised as everyone was, I believe that the fucking Ottawa Brass, I think they ejaculated prematurely. They thought they had a fucking contender sitting there going, well, that went quickly. Fire sale 1 year, and next year we're back in the playoffs. I think we might have a contending team here. And they lost one player.
Yeah.
One pivotal player.
And now they added a player that day. You know, the day they lost Alfredson, they went out and got Bobby Ryan. Right? So they thought, all right, you know, we're losing our heart and soul of the team, our captain, but we're gonna add some youthfulness that is full of fucking spunk and you know,
full of piss and vinegar, ready to
possible
score
fucking 30-goal score, right? So I mean, when they looked at it, when it all went down, you know, I'm sure the brass was like, this won't be that bad.
Yeah.
But then you see the gap in the dressing room.
The leadership
Gap in the dressing room. And I mean, you got guys like Phillips and fucking Spezza in there, but at the end of the day, when your loudest person in the dressing room is fucking Carlson, a 3-year fucking player.
Or Kyle Turris apparently has been quite vocal in the room as well. But yeah, when you got your 2 youngest guys on your fucking team being the ones stepping up and talking, and you want no disrespect to Spezza, but he strikes me almost as a kind of like a Yuri Hoodler type, again with the Flames analogies. I don't honestly think Hoodler would be a horrible fucking captain.
Yeah.
Horrible.
Yeah.
He's not verbally abrasive. He's not
going to motivate the team. He's not going to be the guy that walks into the locker room, has that motivational speech set and ready to fucking go, says it, and the team's like, fuck yeah, man,
but you have
and buy into what he
at
says.
Parts where Hoodler grabs another player and like that one game, and you could see him pointing, go from the net, just sit there, sit at the front of the net.
Yeah.
Next time they were on the ice, he wired it, but he got it blocked the second time, exact same place, sent it up, but he top shelf. And I really think Jason Spezza is that kind of leader.
Yeah.
Not the guy who's going to take the other 21 guys under his fucking wing and go pull up your fucking straps, grab your goddamn balls, and let's go win this fucking hockey game.
Yeah.
But he'll definitely be that guy who will pull that frustrated kid aside, or the one guy who's just not clicking that night and go, this is what you got to do.
Yeah.
Take 2 steps.
I'm watching you, and you know,
you're doing good.
Yeah.
2 steps further to the right in the slot.
Yeah.
And then he scores. But in terms of motivating all 21 guys, I don't think he's that kind of material.
No, eh?
Nope.
I would have to agree with you, you know, and I mean, you can't throw it on Phillips. I'm sorry. He's not, he doesn't come across as the guy either. You know what I mean? So they're lacking a captain. They're lacking a leader. They're lacking leadership is what they're lacking. Now let's take a look at their goaltender. You know, in Anderson. This guy was praised, you know, he was a fucking Vezina finalist. All this
Colorado.
shit. All this shit. Oh no, last year, wasn't it?
Yeah, last year, but his heydays where his value skyrocketed when he was in Colorado.
Yeah, and this is what I'm getting at. He's played 4 seasons with the Senators now, and he's only had 1 year where he's played 3/4 of the games, like they were expecting out of him. This year he ended with a goals against average of 3. All right? Yeah, he had 53 games played, 25 wins, 16 losses, 8 overtime losses, 4 shutouts, a 3 goals against average, and a .911 save percentage.
So now, right away, you're asking of your team, they got to score 4 goals a night to win when he's in net.
Yeah.
You multiply that out, that comes to 80 by 4, 320, 328, I believe. You're asking him to score 328 goals.
Yeah.
When you get the Pittsburgh Penguins and the Anaheim
They
Ducks,
scored, in comparison, they scored 236.
yeah. Fucking,
So 102
you get the
more
Ducks and the
goals.
Penguins and the fucking Hawks, who are barely breaking fucking 260 on their own, with all the firepower they got.
Yeah.
Now you got a goalie that on paper, if you're gonna win all 82 games, you're requiring your team to score well over 320 goals in a season.
Yep.
Which
340.
is ridiculous.
So yeah. Oh yeah, and that's just it. You know, I don't. PJ Stock, I never thought I'd say PJ Stock was ever right about something. But PJ Stock said something the other night about Varlamov that rings very true with Anderson too. And it's, you're out there and you're scoring, even like say the 3rd period, right? And you get out there, you score that 3-2 goal, right? And your team's jacked. But now they're sitting there and they're like, okay, let's go Anderson, you got to make that save. Let's go Craig, you got to make that save. And it goes in. And the confidence just drops. You know, they start not believing in their goaltender. And then once you start not believing in the goaltender.
With Colorado last night.
Yeah.
Your players automatically, not that they're not trusting your goalie, but they're now hanging back to help out.
And not only that, but they don't trust the goalie. You know, they're sitting there going, fuck man, you know, we had 5 minutes left in this fucking game and they score and tie it up. 2 minutes left in the game and they score and they fucking tie it up. You know, can you make that one fucking save just so we could get by? You know? And that's what I believe Senators are having to do right now. I mean, this guy is fucking injured almost as much as Rick DiPietro.
Yeah. But, I mean, like, coming in retrospect, too, you see, like, I noticed it with every team in the league. When that confidence is in that goalie, you see teams, all 5 guys all of a sudden are back. They fucking get the puck, and they go to clear the zone, like you look at Colorado last night, and yeah, they had control of the puck, and they're all saying, well, you gotta clear the zone, and yeah, you do, but because of the uncertainty in the goaltending, all 5 guys are still in the fucking defensive zone.
They're apprehensive about jumping across the blue line.
They're below the blue line still. Yeah. So, yeah, they are making their first pass, and it's a smart one, but Buddy's still 3 feet below his own goddamn blue line because they're so unsure if the puck's going to be turned over.
Turns it over and they break back.
Yeah, and now all of a sudden there's 4 guys sitting at center blocking in the fucking your defensive zone.
So is this the goalie of the future?
No.
For Ottawa?
I honestly think...
Way to get rid of Bishop, you fucking fool.
You guys blew... Hey, Slurry. Hey, Slurry Murray.
Are you someone you say fire fucking Slurry Murray?
You blew your foot off. Right off.
You know what? Brian Murray has been involved in some of the worst fucking deals and worst losses in Ottawa Senators history, alright? This is the guy that was involved in the whole Heatley fiasco. This is the guy that lost the Zdeno Chara to the Boston Bruins for sweet FA, okay? Yeah. This is the guy who watched Alfredson walk out the fucking door. This is the guy who got rid of Hossa. You know, like, you fucking look at some of the players that have come through that organization. And the only fucking move in the last fucking 10 to 15 years that Brian Murray has pulled off that has seemed like a decent move was getting Kyle Turris out of Phoenix.
Yeah.
You know, and that's it. You know, you look at Bobby Ryan. The guy fucking, he was a bust this year. Bobby Ryan, you know, I don't know if it's either he was unsettled, if Bobby Ryan's actually overhyped and he was feeding more off of Getzlaf and Perry than we actually realized. Or was it, you know, again, he's unsettled. Or was it the Olympics, the Olympic snub? What threw off Bobby Ryan this year?
I think it's a combination. I think, one, Bobby Ryan isn't, and this is no disrespect to him, but isn't as good of a player as everyone thinks. Because in Anaheim, he was on the second line, third line. He wasn't dealing with other teams' top line, top defensive pairings.
Yeah.
And now in fucking Ottawa, he's on the first line.
He's a go-to guy.
He's that caliber of player. Yeah. But he's not used to playing against the top lines and the top defensive pairings.
Yeah.
Right?
Now, Bobby Ryan was in the top 5 of every offensive stat for the Ottawa Senators, including plus-minus. He was a +7.
And that's where it comes in, the Olympic snub.
Yeah.
And I think that for him was just... He was adapting okay. He was still scoring goals, right? And he was like, all right, I can do this. I'm working hard, right? Him and Turris seemed to be developing a little bit of chemistry there. And he was doing well. And then he got snubbed. He heard the comments from the GM and from the brass of the American team.
Yeah.
And I think
got all butt hurt.
Yeah.
And fucking stopped playing hockey.
And I think that right then and there, he was like, look at how much work I put into it. Fuck you.
Yeah.
And I think at the end of it, the downfall of it was a bad attitude.
And that's what it comes down to. Like Bobby Ryan, again, more, and you know, you hit it right on the nail with, he's playing the top pairings now, right? Yeah. He's on the top line. He's going up against the top defensive guys. That might take a little bit away from him, right? But again, when you have guys on that team like McCulloch, fucking Spezza, Turris, you should be able to adapt and be able to at least maintain at least somewhat of a pace. This was the lowest season in Bobby Ryan's career since his rookie season. Since his rookie season, he has not had such a fucking horrible points per game.
And I think part of it
production.
Too, like you see it with Getzlaf. I honestly think he is an amazing captain. You see him pull Perry aside nonstop, calming him down, telling him to ease up on gripping the stick, telling him to keep the fisticuffs down, right? And I think that might have been part of it, was that there was a captain in place in Anaheim that went, hey, let's go. Come on, buddy. You're better than this.
Yeah.
Right? You're better than this. We've won a cup together. you play better hockey than this.
Have them focus.
Yeah, and now you have a new captain, first
guy
time
who's
captain,
not comfortable with the
who's
role.
got skates to fill of a franchise player,
Yeah.
and who is too quiet of a guy to be a captain of an entire team.
He's taking over from the best captain that ever was in the Ottawa Senators. I mean, who else are you?
And
gonna
a lot,
fucking
you know what?
name
After
as the
seeing
best
what
captain?
happened to
Alexei
Ottawa this
Yashin?
year with him being gone, you could argue one of the best, the active in the league right now.
Yeah, yeah. Just from what you see from
Yeah.
Ottawa with such a fucking
A drop-off.
such a drop off.
You could see them. They were down on themselves. They were giving up on plays. They were getting in holes early and just giving up.
Yeah.
But I think they got blown out by Toronto fucking 7 or 6-2 or something.
Oh,
one
and they
time
had
this
some
year.
bad fucking
And
nights.
they're
you
just
know?
skating with their heads down. And the only time the heads are up is when they're looking at the fucking clock, hoping to God that it says the third period with less than 5 minutes left in it.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, most definitely. On a bright note for Senators and Sens fans is Kyle Turris. We
Yeah.
touched on him briefly. Again, like we were saying, maybe the best transaction that the Ottawa Senators franchise has had in the last 10, 15 years. But yeah, a breakout year. He has never had a season like this. He's eclipsed all his fucking season highs for
and he
goals,
plays
assists.
with heart. You can see it when you watch him play. I don't
He
watch
was a good
ton.
grab.
I don't watch a ton.
He
of
led
Ottawa.
the team in goals. He led the team in plus minus with a plus 22. Like, this is definitely the kind of guy you might want to start building a team around.
I'm honestly saying I kind of regret not going after him.
Yeah, most definitely.
When he demanded that, I was like, no way in hell do we need an attitude like that on this team.
Yeah.
Fuck that noise. But you know what? I honestly think it was a 50-50 draw, and Kyle Turris took it as incentive. I think he might have even been sat down by Slurry Murray there
Yeah.
and been like, those were some big words.
Alfredson.
Some of the big wigs of that team, and said, those are some big fucking words you had there.
Yeah.
And I gave up a lot, so you'd best be backing up those words.
Yeah.
I don't want to see any fucking attitude.
We'll
I
pay
wanna
you good, but you have to play.
I want to see you playing. I want to see you here ready to practice. I want to see you ready to go.
Yeah.
And you know what? Quite honestly, I think that he's embraced that. And this year was the first year where his hard work, his persistence, has paid off for him.
Yeah.
And you know what? I think we're going to see Kyle Turris is quite a prolific scorer in this league.
Career high in 26 goals. He had 58 points. You know, and again, like, they have guys that score. I mean, fuck. Erik Karlsson, their defenseman, led the team in scoring.
Led the league
With
at early in
74
the season,
points.
I believe.
74 points for a fucking defenseman. That's damn good.
He
That
led
is
like
damn
league
good.
and defenseman.
Yeah.
I'll clarify, and I believe he held that for a while. But yeah, I mean, Carlson kind of strikes me as
They need to support him. Like,
selfish player, though.
if he's going to go out there and be, you know, the offensive defenseman, they have to have a guy other than fucking, what's his fucking name? Gerba. To fucking be the guy standing next to him, making sure that, you know, because you look at some of their other fucking defensemen, in Zinabajed, you know,
well, he's a forward.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah.
Well, Carlson was a minus 15 himself.
Phillips is a defenseman.
Phillips
He's
is a
-12.
defenseman, minus 12. I don't know if Greening's a defenseman or not.
I don't think so. But regardless, they have a glaring hole on defense.
Horrible,
If you're gonna have a
horrible
goalie
hole.
with a 3 goals against average, you're gonna have to fucking either.
Well, and again, this could be, maybe that's the reason that they have a goalie with a fucking three goals against average, because their defense is really not fucking stepping up.
No.
I mean, you got Griba and that's it. The only defenseman, glaring defenseman on fucking plus minus on the fucking plus side.
Yeah.
Doing well. You know? You
And
got
even
your star
doing
defenseman
well,
at a
plus
minus
9.
15. I mean,
Plus
look at,
9.
you look at this, and the guy was on the fucking ice for 74 points for Carlson.
Yeah.
Alright? He was on the ice for 74 fucking goals for. Alright? And yet he still ends up a minus 15.
So he was at least on the ice for 89 goals against.
That's right. That's
That's
right.
more than one a game.
89 goals against. Now, they had 235 goals against.
So 235.
You cut that 80
That's-
some odd fucking goals against down for Carlson
Yeah.
to 40,
60 even.
and suddenly you're looking at yourself as a fucking, you know, still getting those points for, but those points against drop dramatically, and suddenly you're sitting around fucking.
If Erik Karlsson could cut off
500 on your points.
If he could cut off 20 goals against in a season, I would honestly say you'd see him sitting at a plus 10.
Yeah. And he would definitely be labeled as one of the top defensemen in the league.
Like
you look at Mike Green out in Washington. The guy comes out and scores 30 fucking goals.
Yeah.
Alright. And not once has Green fucking been named a prolific player in the league.
No.
They're like, yeah, he's a star, but an all-star? World-class player? Because of his defensive play. You know, he's not a fucking forward, he's a defenseman.
Yeah.
And so that's what they're looking at. They see fucking Karlsson with a minus 15.
And they're like,
They're gonna be like, yeah, you know, he helps out on that
You look at the teams, they're championship teams.
Yep.
And yes, they do get support from their blue line. Boston, right?
Yep.
How many times have they been bailed out when their top 2, top 3 loaded fucking lines can't buy a goal to save their lives and their blue line steps up? I'm not saying you don't need it.
Yeah.
But you look at a lot of these championship teams and the core of their defense is stay at home.
Yep. Oh, most
Stay
definitely.
at home.
Most definitely.
Look at Boston.
You look at when fucking.
You look at LA.
When they went to the finals there, when LA went to the finals and won the cup there, you know, their top fucking defenseman was Mitchell. A stay-at-home defenseman.
Yeah.
Who fucking.
Like most of these
doesn't skate
these
up ice and
powerhouse
fucking.
teams
He's the
have
one that
one-
hangs back.
Yeah, they got one offensive-minded.
Yep.
LA's got their Drew Doughty. And then they have the likes of Wooly Mitchell, fucking Robin Regier, fucking Voinov, who are a majority of guys who are stay at home, parked at the blue line type guys.
The Reg, definitely.
Yeah, and that works out for them. You look at Chicago, they got
Seabrook and Keith.
Yeah, but even you look at Seabrook. Seabrook's not really that prolific goal scorer.
No.
That assist man. He's that stay at home, reliable defenseman that gives Keith the confidence
opportunity
to step up.
Yeah,
And he knows that Seabrook will handle his own back there.
Yeah. And also this comes down to also when Karlsson jumps into the play, they need to have a guy fucking drop back.
Yeah.
You know, they have
But
need to have a guy
that comes
drop
down
the
to
defense.
coaching.
Yeah.
Because you know what? Yeah, I understand a player should realize and identify that when you've been playing hockey as long as you had any sport. It doesn't just go for hockey.
No.
Any sport, when a defenseman or defensive positional player pinches in, an attacking player has to fucking cover. You see it in football. The tight end goes out wide, the running back steps up onto the line.
Yeah.
See it in basketball. Fucking guards go racing in, the other guys cut back out. Fucking
So this
everything.
is what they need. Like they need someone to support Karlsson, keep him grounded. All right, and fucking get him to be on the better side of the plus minus, right?
I honestly think
Do they keep the coach?
if you get that defensive core that's that stay at home, you will see Karlsson's plus minus raised, not because of goals against, but because he'll have the confidence that he doesn't have to worry about getting back as fast as he can when he shoots that puck. Right? He still needs to get back, yeah. But I think part of it might be is his hesitance.
Yeah.
He goes in and then he realizes he's like, oh shit, I'm the number one offensive and defensive guy on this team.
Yeah.
I'll snap this away quick and then I'll skate out, right? Whereas if he has that Seabrook or the fucking Robin Regier or the Wooly Mitchell standing at the blue line, he can be like, you know what, that guy can handle his own. I'm quick enough if things goes wrong.
Yeah. I know he'll do a good
He'll
defensive
do a
play
good
and I'll
job
be able to
and he'll
clean up
give
the rebound.
Yeah, he'll give
Yeah.
you time to get back.
Yeah. So what does this team do from here? You know, they've not been successful for the last 5 years. You can't call it a successful last 5 years.
No, I honestly think
the coach has been there the whole time, or 4 of the 5 years. All right, and quite frankly, I mean, the bug-eyed walrus just doesn't seem to be getting the job done anymore. You know, do you keep McClellan or fucking whatever the fuck?
I honestly think you give him 1 year, but you look at the caliber of coaches.
Well,
that
he has
come-
a year left on his contract,
Yeah.
I believe.
So you honor that possibly.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna say there's the likes of Barry Trotz, who's a free agent right now.
Hey, you can bring in John Tortorella.
Yeah, I'm not. That would not be good. But who knows? With San Jose's collapse,
Yeah.
how much longer does
Todd
McLellan?
McLellan.
Right?
Yeah.
And quite honestly, you get a guy like that for a franchise that's hits what 7 out of the last 9 years.
Yeah.
Have been in the playoffs with deep drives. I think.
Oh, they've been in the playoffs for fucking like 10, 11,
I think
12,
the stats
13
was
years
I was
in a row.
listening in the last 9 playoff appearances they've had.
He's been to the playoffs 7 years in a row with them.
They've had 3 first-round exits.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that was last night's was the 3rd.
Yeah. So yeah, they've been in the playoffs 7 years in a row with him at the helm, and with their collapse,
winning President's trophies or being second place, right?
Yeah.
So,
with their collapse, he could be looking at getting the axe. And I mean, if that's the case, and you have some of these caliber fucking coaches out there, Peter Laviolette.
If Todd, I don't think his style of coaching is going to fit with the players that the Senators have. Peter Laviolette likes to play a heavy shoulder-to-shoulder type hockey.
Well, these are bigger guys, though. Maybe they need to sack up and fucking play a little more physical. They do. You look at some of the teams that they have to go against, the Bostons and the fucking Phillies and the Rangers. They're fucking physical teams.
But you look at, like, when Peter Laviolette was coach of the fucking Philadelphia Flyers there, they weren't scoring goals on raw talent.
No.
Fucking fast breaks. They were winning goals on shoulder to shoulder, digging low.
But again, Philadelphia wasn't full of raw talent either.
No, but that's what
I would say on paper, Ottawa has more talent than the Philadelphia. With the Spezza, Turris, Bobby Ryan, fucking McCulloch, fucking Carlson. I would say on paper.
Laviolette was head coach for that historic comeback, wasn't he?
Yep.
So he had the likes of Richards and Carter for a bit.
Richards and Carter and Pronger and Giroux in his younger days.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I mean he had players. Don't get me wrong.
No, so I'd say they were on par.
Yeah.
I'd say now on paper, they would be better, but I don't think it'll work. Honestly,
with all these great coaches out there, man, do they keep this guy? Like I mean, really?
If Todd McLellan is available, I say you take him.
Go after San Jose's coach if he becomes available.
But
other than that, don't go after any of the other coaches that are available now. Like you said, Barry Trotz is available. You got fucking, again, John Tortorella. I'm not saying that he would be a good fit in fucking Ottawa, but
I guess Barry Trotz would be a decent fit, a defense first type coach.
Yeah. Yeah, but again, you need a fucking defense to fucking teach defense to.
Look at the caliber of defense that Barry Trotz has had.
Yeah.
Fucking
in the likes of Shea Weber and
Ryan Suter, fucking Calvin Klein or whatever is Kevin Klein there. Fucking Ryan Ellis, Seth Jones for a little bit, right? Like and then a goalie like Peke Rene, right? And quite honestly, Craig Anderson.
Well, they need to do something about Anderson. I mean, it's either shore up on your defense and
I'm
see
pretty
if
sure
you
he's
can.
a free agent this year, and I'd say let him walk.
Yeah?
I say you make a move for Hiller. Try to sign him.
Why not, eh? Why not? I mean, fucking, if Jonas Hiller hits the free agency market, then there's going to be a few teams that are going after him, and why not be the Ottawa Senators?
Yep.
Let fucking Craig Anderson walk off and get money anywhere else, playing in fucking Tampa Bay.
Doing whatever the fuck.
Playing in Florida as Bobby Lou's backup.
Because now you got Bobby Ryan and Jonas Hiller, 2 former Anaheim players.
Which would settle Bobby Ryan down because it's somebody he's familiar with, even though, he's probably familiar with the team now, right?
Oh yeah, but I mean, in any circumstance, it's nice to have a friend to work with.
Yeah.
Right? Some guy that you've known for a bit longer than a year, for the 6 months, 9 months you guys have been together.
Yeah.
Right? So, and you know what, quite honestly, from what I hear, Ottawa isn't exactly the nicest city to be in either. So you know what, you go from a place like Anaheim to Ottawa, which is a bureaucratic, red-taped, stuck-up fucking town, to a hockey market that's teetering, to a fucking team that's just basically written off their own goddamn season because their franchise players left.
You might as well have been sent to Tacoma, Washington. It's just a place nobody wants to really be.
Yeah.
Alright?
And honestly, I'd say, you know what, fuck it. I retract my previous statement. Fire this coach.
Fire the coach.
Get him gone. You hire Barry Trotz. You make a run at fucking McLennan. you look at some of these guys that you're saying that are going to be coming up. Peter Laviolette's, fuck it, get them. Defense first. Maybe you're right. They got the likes. Spets is not exactly a small guy. You got fucking Carlson, who isn't too small, likes to be a bit chippy.
Turris
Chris
is
Neal
a bigger
there.
guy. Ryan's
Turris,
a fucking
Phillips,
star plug.
right? Sure, get him in there.
Yeah.
Sign a couple bigger guys.
Yeah, MacArthur's a big guy.
Yeah. Plays grimy.
But so you gotta look, you know, into the say next season. I'm not saying in the off season or at the draft or anything like that, but into next season. Say Ottawa's not doing so hot again. All right, they're sitting around wherever the fuck they're sitting now. 5th in the Atlantic, 11th in the East, 21st in the league. All right, they're sitting around there at the trade deadline. Trade deadline hits. They're looking at it. Do they trade Jason Spezza?
Yeah.
And get maximum fucking return.
I'd even say you do it this season, this off season.
Do it in the off season.
Yep.
See, I say fucking give it to the deadline just to give the kid one more fucking try at being the captain. You know, see if it is the coach.
And, yeah, but I'm not saying it's because he's the captain that this team failed. You know what? There's none of that.
No, but you know what? But you know what? As the captain, you have to take responsibility for your team.
But they're gonna get Jerome McGinley.
Yeah.
If they don't move him.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and that's just
if he goes through another season where his hip gets fucked up or his ankle gets fucked up again, you are gonna get nothing.
Trade value is just gonna
because
drop.
It's not gonna be his point production that's gonna scare GMs off.
Yeah.
It's gonna be that contract and a liability and injuries, right? They're not gonna give you much for that. No. Get him, move him now. He's healthy, right? Right? Long off season, getting healthy, training. He's obviously not happy with how shit went.
Yeah.
Right? He's gonna come back hard.
You're gonna get fucking maximum fucking return.
Because a lot of GMs are gonna be going. A lot of guys of this caliber tend to come back pretty hard after a shitty season like this.
Now, Spezza led the team with a minus 26.
Mm-hmm.
Minus 26. So that's a big drop, or a big fucking drop on the fucking trade value right there. The fact that you're a liability. But you take a look at Jerome when he was playing in Calgary, you know, minus fucking 10, minus 15.
You look at Alex Ovechkin.
Now you look at him into fucking Boston, and he's top 3 in the league.
Yeah.
Right? Like, so, you know, I guess, it depends on who you're playing. But, I mean, the guy's playing with Turris, so figure that one out, how he's a minus 26, and, you know, Kyle Turris is a plus 22.
No, they're both centers.
Oh, yeah, eh? So there you go. You trade him, you fucking build this team around Turris, you make that decision now.
Yeah.
You make that decision now.
Zibanejad seems, you know, I see a lot of Sven Baertschi in Zibanejad. A lot of flash, a lot of sparks here and there.
Yeah.
But overall...
Yeah, I mean, his name only pops up on the fucking minus sheet. He doesn't pop up anywhere else. So, I mean, yeah, he definitely needs some development. But for the Ottawa Senators, folks, like we said, they're pretty boring. So that's it for the Senators. You know, we're gonna throw in a little bit of a round 2 recap here in the playoffs. Or a preview, sorry.
Puck drop tonight on the first game in the second round.
Yeah, Montreal and Boston. PK Subban fucking popping in 2, getting the first goal of the game and the last goal of the game. And every time he touches the puck, man, those fans go fucking... Oh, they go crazy on him in Boston. They do not like him.
No.
They do not like him. So, yeah, whatever. Let's start with Boston and Montreal. I think this is going to be the money series.
Yeah.
This is going to be the series to watch. You know, fucking these two teams don't like each other.
No, they really don't.
It just really comes down to these two teams do not like each other. You know, Pacioretty remembers the fucking hit that fucking Char did on him, right? And everybody else remembers all the bullshit that has ensued before and after. And I mean, fucking in reality, these two teams have met 34 times, including this series, in the fucking playoffs. 34 times.
So they got some reason to hate each other.
They've got some reason to hate each other. That is very true. And you know, a lot of times when these two teams play each other, the winner of this series goes to the Stanley Cup.
Yeah.
So, I mean, yeah, Boston and fucking Montreal, it's just so much history behind these two. But with the fucking series, you know, the Habs have won 24 of those 33 series.
Yeah.
And the Habs went 4-1-1 against them this year. So that stat, when I saw that kind of caught my eye. I was like, wow, I did not really see that coming.
No.
Carey Price only played one game against Boston. He won that game, only allowed 2 goals, I believe. Yeah, and Tuukka Rask played every game and went 1-4-1 against the fucking Habs. So, I mean, seeing that stat, you would think that this is going to be a tough one for Boston. Honestly, I see it going 7, but I see Boston just walking away with it at 7.
I see Boston in 5.
Boston in 5,
Yeah.
eh?
Yeah. I think they'll win the next 2. Then Montreal will win the next one.
Well, then that would be in 6. Because Montreal won the first one.
Yeah, sorry. So they'll win 3 straight.
Yeah.
So 6, yeah.
So, Boston in 6, eh?
Yeah, just for the fact of Boston's veterancy.
Yeah, and, you know, there's a lot of hunger on that team. You can see it. That team is hungry, man. That is a hungry fucking team. You know, they do not want to accept failure this year.
No.
You know, 90% of those guys were on that team last year when they lost in the finals. Jerome was in Pittsburgh when they lost to Boston, and just getting that close and sniffing the cup, you know, fucking pisses you off higher than fucking anything, right? So, I mean, there's a lot of hunger on that team. Tuukka Rask has something. Tuukka Rask has something to prove.
Yeah.
He doesn't want this to be like, oh yeah, well, you know, he was a great goalie, but Tim Thomas got
him a cup, so
yeah, exactly right. He wants to be like, oh yeah, fucking Tuukka Rask is the best goalie that's fucking touched the fucking pads in the fucking Boston Bruins uniform since fucking Greg Peters.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, Gary Cheevers. Shit like that, right? Like, this is what he wants.
He wants to be the number 1 franchise goalie.
Zdeno Chara up for the Norris Trophy.
Yep.
Right? Again, up for the fucking Mark Messier Award. So, you know, it's fucking...
I think they're going to do it. And I just think their veterancy and their shoulder to shoulder, they'll take out Montreal.
It's going to be grimy. Things are going to get nasty. Words will be spoken.
Yeah.
Feelings will be hurt. You think the banter's bad? You should listen to what they say on the ice. They talk about, like, deep throats and shit like that. You just don't want to know.
Divorces, shitting on couches.
Yeah, shitting on wives' faces while they videotape and shit.
Yeah.
It's all kind of fucked up. RJ, you know some shit about that, eh? Fucking...
Hey, hand out of your pants!
You never did that? I thought you shat on people in your videos, man. Oh. Okay, well, you learn something new every day.
Ain't that fucked up.
Yeah, you learn something new every day. But let's flip over to the West now. So yeah, Boston. We both agree on that. I say 7, he says 6.
Yeah.
We were both right about the winners of those series that they were playing previously in the first round.
Yeah.
We both said Boston, we both said Montreal. You know, the amount of games may not have been right.
No, they weren't.
But yeah.
It got done.
It got done. Boston and Montreal. So yeah, flip over to the West. We got Chicago and Minnesota. All right.
I honestly think Chicago will wipe their ass. I know I said this last time, but just from the exhaustion that Minnesota has just gone through.
Well, Minnesota just went through one hell of a series with Colorado. One hell of a fucking series. You know, it was definitely more entertaining series than a lot of people had predicted it would be.
Yeah.
Especially being Minnesota.
Yeah.
You know, but I mean, Patrick Waugh pushes his players. But yeah, so they go through one hell of a series, and then they run into the Chicago Blackhawks.
Yeah.
Now, here's what I'm looking at. The only fucking hope in hell that Minnesota has of coming out of this series and heading to the Western Finals is if these guys remember the sting of losing to Chicago last year in 5 games. Because Chicago wiped their asses with them last season, too, in the playoffs.
Yeah.
En route to winning the cup. You know, so that's the only way. I mean, yeah, they're going to need some great fucking talent from fucking Suter and Parisi and fucking Koivu, Heatley, and other guys, right? They're going to need those guys to step up huge.
Oh, yeah, but I don't think they will be able to.
Oh, no.
I think Chicago got pushed to the brink in the first round, got a bit scared, and they want to repeat.
Oh, they do want to repeat. You can tell that team's hungry.
Yeah.
You can tell that team's hungry.
They're the hungriest team in the West, and Boston's the hungriest team in the East, and that's the way it's going to go.
Yeah, that's what we said in the beginning. But fucking, I don't know, like, There's no chance. There's just no chance.
No, I think it's
They've
gonna be
gone
a
through
sweep.
5
4-game
fucking
sweep for the
goalies.
Hawks.
They've gone through 5 fucking goalies.
The other one got hurt too.
Kemper just got hurt. Now they have to resort to Brizgalov. And not taking anything from Brizgalov, but he can get lit the fuck up. And when he gets lit the fuck up, his confidence is fucking shattered like a fucking 5-year-old's porcelain doll.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's not going to go well.
No, and
He'll come back, but you need to give him 10, 15 games to sort that shit out. And you got 7.
yeah.
4 maximum.
Now
minimum.
the Wild won 3 out of the 5 games these two teams played this year.
Yeah.
Okay, so that shows that they can at least, they don't have it in their head that fuck man, we can't beat these guys. This is Chicago.
But I think they're exhausted from Colorado.
Fuck, they will be exhausted. And Chicago's had a few days off to fucking rest. And I don't see it going well for fucking Minnesota at all.
You know what?
But if there was ever to be an upset, I would hope to fucking God that it's this one.
Yeah. Another thing though too is Chicago's nasty come playoffs. They have been for a lot of years now.
Yeah.
There's a new beast that comes out of those players when they're in the playoffs.
They step their game up. They do what championship teams do, and they step it up a fucking notch.
Yeah.
They're like, hey, guess what? This is the show. What we just did all year round, that's just the fucking little dance.
Yeah.
This
that's
is the
just
show.
A technicality.
Yeah, this
Let's
is
go.
what we have to do just so we can fucking get here and show you what we really do. Right? And that's exactly the mindset that championship teams have to have. Right?
Yeah.
So,
but another factor too is Chicago just dealt with St. Louis, right?
yeah. And they dealt with them handedly. They lost the first 2 games, and they're
scares,
like,
and they're like,
okay, whatever.
These
They
guys are
didn't
here
even
to
care.
play.
They didn't even fucking care. They didn't. You looked at their interviews, and they're like, oh, we lost the first 2 games.
Yeah.
What does that mean? It's a 4-game or
It's
it's
a
a 7-game
series over?
series,
No.
folks.
Well, I guess it doesn't matter much.
No, exactly. They didn't care.
What? Seabrook suspended?
Cool. Whatever.
Bring it on.
We'll replace them.
Yep.
It's all good. And that's what championship teams do. So Minnesota, sorry, I say you're gone in 5. I'm gonna give you 1 game in there.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say you fucking maybe steal the first game, just because you're still hot off the fucking energy of playing the other night, and the Hawks are just kind of caught a little flat-footed. But that's it. They're gonna fucking pound the shit out of you, and they're gonna pound the shit out of your wives/girlfriends, and then they're gonna pound the shit out of everything else that you love.
Your daughters who are over 18.
Yeah, like
it's just gonna be.
It's gonna be a sad.
It's gonna be messy.
Yeah, it's gonna be a sad case for the Wild fans.
Yep, and I think honestly, I'm calling the sweep.
He's calling the sweep.
After St. Louis, this is gonna be a fucking walk in the park.
Who are you calling for a sweep in the last round?
I called for Boston to wipe their asses with Detroit.
Yes.
And I called Colorado to wipe their asses with Minnesota in 4.
So yeah.
And well, yeah, we all know how that worked out. So
congratulations on making the second round, Minnesota.
Good job.
It's about as far as you're gonna go, though.
Yeah,
sorry.
You know what? And this is nothing against you. Had Colorado faced them, I'd be calling the sweep for the Hawks as well.
Yeah,
because
exactly.
You know what? As good as Colorado is, they're inexperienced, even more inexperienced than the Wild are, and it wouldn't have been pretty.
Yeah, yeah. So let's move over to the West Coast there, California, and we have the first time these 2 teams have ever met in the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
The second battle of California that the history-making Kings are gonna have to go through, and I call them the history-making Kings because obviously, what they just did. The fourth team in NHL history to fucking pull off going down 3-0. And again, we speak about teams that just, they don't care. They're like, oh yeah, that's what it's at. Well, it's a good thing it's a 7-game series, guys. Yeah. No, I'm not too concerned.
Even quick.
I only need to win 4. We win 4 in a row like fucking in our sleep.
Yeah.
We go on fucking 12-game winning streaks. Shit like that. That's what these teams do. Right? And so you fucking look at that, and that's what they did. LA just basically was like, oh, we're down 3. I guess we should probably put our work clothes on, guys.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what they did.
Sutter came in one day and was like, all right, enough fucking around. We're down by 3. Let's go win us 4.
Anaheim, they handled Dallas.
Mm-hmm.
They did well. Now, the problem here with Anaheim, and why I don't think Anaheim's going to win this series, it's their goaltending. They really don't know what the fuck they're doing in net. Mm-hmm. Anderson's hot right now, but you and I watched Anderson play like a fucking 5-year-old Pee-wee kid.
Yeah.
And get lit up for fucking 6 goals.
Yeah.
You know?
But on the flip side, we also watched fucking San Jose light up quick for 7 in his previous series.
That's true. That's true.
So I believe in the first 3 games, Jonathan Quick had allowed 15 goals, 16
something like
goals.
That. Yeah, something like that.
And then he shut the fucking door in the next 4.
And they played the game they needed to play, yeah.
I quite honestly think if you give Anaheim a 3-0 lead,
they'll choke you out.
They're not gonna stumble.
No.
They might give you 1 game, but after that they're gonna fucking
There's still enough guys around from that Stanley Cup win that can be like push and draw off the experience and want that taste again.
It's not over till it's 4. Let's go.
Yeah.
Right?
And so fucking, Anaheim, I mean they could beat LA.
Yeah. I'm calling them to.
You're calling you are? You're calling them in 7. Ducks in 7.
Ducks in 7.
Really?
And the thing I believe it's gonna come down to, you say it's gonna be Anaheim's goaltending.
Yep.
I say it's gonna be LA's streaky scoring.
Yeah, eh?
Yeah, because you get a lot of guys.
The ball's going to dry up on Gaborik and
a lot of guys
Kopitar.
in those first 3 games.
Because Kopitar's been playing like a man on fire.
Oh, yeah, he is. And you know what?
He's playing like a man on fire right now.
In those 3 games, there was a lot of those guys not scoring goals.
Yeah.
I believe in the first...
Nobody was apparently playing defense either.
The first 3, Richards, Williams, and Carter had 3 points and 1 goal between them in the first 3 games.
Yeah, exactly.
So, I mean, if they hit like that, and then all of a sudden fucking...
Now, the thing is Richards and Carter have been quiet. Gaborik, he's had a flash every now and then, right? But, like, Richards and Carter have been quiet, so if they
Williams
can start...
step his game up,
Oh, yeah, Williams is fucking apparently a Game 7 hero. The guy's got 10 points in 5 Game 7s.
Yeah.
Like, that's fucking an amazing stat to have.
But I honestly think just the depth of scoring that Anaheim has will just inch them enough to take that game.
But that's why I give it to LA. That's honestly why I give them the depth of scoring. Again, you got the Gabricks, the Richards, the Carters, the Browns, the fucking Kopitars. You know what I mean? And then the Drew Doughty from the point. So that's why I give it to LA. Same reason, right? The depth of scoring. And the fact that they have a goalie who has proven that when he's on his game, he can be one of the best in the world. You know what I mean?
Anderson has also proven too, if he's on his A game. Like what, his first 3 games, he's 2 shutouts, I think, 1 goal against.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's a toss-up. It's going to be a battle.
Ducks won the season series 4-1. Handled them easily in the season. Fucking walked all over them.
And
outscored them plentiful. It wasn't low scoring. So, I mean, if there was going to be an upset, it would be Anaheim over LA. Most definitely.
So that'll be my upset for the West.
I'm going with the Kings. I am going with the Kings. I think the Kings, like I said, I've already given my upset, and that will be Chicago losing.
My thing, too, though, for Anaheim, is they've played a lot less hockey in the last 3 years than LA has.
Yeah, and LA
has played a lot of hockey in the last 3 years.
The same could be said about Chicago and Boston.
Yeah, but Chicago and Boston have this revolving door of small tweaks of bringing in players.
Yeah, and LA's still basically
the same, save Gaborik and Regier. Other than that, not much has changed. He shuffles his lines, they go through scoring droughts, they depend on quick fumbles, and all of a sudden the guys come out of their scoring droughts.
Yeah.
So, it's worked for them thus far, but that core has played a lot of fucking
and that's what it could
hockey.
come down to. They could just be fucking tired by the end of it. Coming out of a 7-game series. So, I mean, it's very possible.
Anaheim's had a lot of time off.
It's very possible that the Ducks take this one.
I think if they do, it has to be 7, but I think they will.
Okay, so there you go. Jimmy's going with fucking Ducks in 7. I'm going with Kings in 6. We'll flip back over to the East and finish her off with the fucking Pens and the Rangers. Pens and the Rangers. Again, it's being a grimy series. I really fucking wanted Philly and Pittsburgh.
Yeah, that would
Really wanted that. Philly and Pittsburgh, Boston, Montreal, that would just be the fucking perfect.
Hate.
Oh, yeah, man.
It would be great.
It'd be nothing but evil, right? But that's fine, you know. New York, they're coming out of a tough series. You know, they had a scare against the Flyers.
Yeah.
Flyers fucking took them all away. And, you know, they came out on top. Now, Lundqvist, in order for them to do anything, has to be the fucking top guy. Has to be the top guy.
Yeah, he
and
does.
I'm sorry, I want to see the fucking Rangers just fucking get buried in the fucking ground. Fucking hate St. Louis. I fucking hate fucking Richards.
Yeah.
Not a big fan of fucking Nash to begin with.
No,
Mark
really.
Stahl's a fucking punk. So, yeah, I don't like the Rangers. Not at all.
No.
There's nothing about the Rangers I like, except for the fact that they're an original 16.
Yeah, I'm calling actually the Rangers for the upset.
Ooh, calling for the Rangers in 6, eh?
For the fact that Lundqvist is fucking hungry. He wants that cup. He needs that cup.
Yeah.
He doesn't give a fucking what fucking color is on his jersey. He wants to win it for New York. Don't get me wrong.
Well, obviously,
that's
he
the
just
team
signed
that's
that
given
fucking-
him.
He just signed that contract
Yeah.
with them, so yeah.
But he's to the point where he needs the cup.
Yeah.
And if it means him taking that team on his back and dragging them there, he'll do it. Like you saw him when they won that.
And Pittsburgh, I mean, you already see it. You know, they were shaky. They were fucking shaky in their own series against Columbus, of all teams.
Yeah.
You know?
There's rumors out there that something's up with Crosby.
Yeah, he's hurt.
He's not 100%. They're thinking maybe a leg, a knee. Something's not right.
And you know the guys in fucking New York are gonna just fucking, they're gonna target that shit.
Oh, yeah.
They're gonna go right for that shit.
Fleury, man, like he's fucking playing his way out of Pittsburgh right now.
I see that too. Biles not playing his way, or coaching his way out of fucking Pittsburgh. Fleury may be fucking traded. You know, it's like, I'm sorry, Pittsburgh will not accept in a second round loss.
No.
They won't. The
You
ownership
can't
will not
have
accept
fucking
it.
Sidney Crosby and Evgeny Malkin and not be fucking making playoff Stanley Cup final appearances.
Yeah, yeah.
You just can't.
No. Their last finals appearance is when they won it. The only time before that was fucking when the year before. And the fucking time before that is when they fucking won it with Lemieux. So, you know,
They need to step it up.
they do need to step it up. Because, you know, and I've said this before. I can guarantee you, you know, if there's ever that fucking chit-chat on the ice,